The Gilded Age is also marked by the expansion of people into the West. Now, the territory is already open, but the people are not quite there yet. They're still moving out into that area. And one of the notable groups that moves out to the West is known as the Exodusters. The reason that they're called Exodusters is because of Exodus. These are former enslaved people that had moved into the West looking for freedom. So we'd call them freedmen. By 1890, there's about 500,000 people out there. What's interesting to me is about a quarter of all cowboys were former enslaved population members, so black people. So this idea of the white cowboy is not actually as true as what we think it is in pop culture. A large population is also Hispanic. They are mining there. There's a cattle boom. The cattle boom is going to lead to all those cowboys, but it's also going to allow Chicago to become a gateway to the West. Chicago is an intersection where all the railroads meet, the Erie Canal and the Great Lakes are going to meet. There's the Mississippi River. Chicago grows up almost overnight. Within a couple of decades, it's going to be the biggest city, almost the biggest city in the United States. It's going to become a meatpacking hub, because you can get all of the cattle, drive them up to Chicago. They're going to be slaughtered in Chicago. They're going to be put on a newfangled thing called a refrigerated car and sent out across the world, the country. Now, in 1862, Lincoln signed something into effect that's going to play out in the post-Reconstruction era, and that's called the Homestead Act. People that took advantage of the Homestead Act are called homesteaders. And these homesteaders received free land if they could make that land productive and live on it for 7 years. They got to keep the land, but it is an expensive freedom because the railroad rates charged high rates in order to take the stuff that was made on that farm to the marketplace. So it's not exactly free. There's also falling crop prices, which means they weren't making as much money as they thought. So there's going to be calls for inflation, and that inflation was hopefully going to help them get a higher price for their crops. There's also going to be a call for the regulation of railroads and banks, the people that those Midwestern farmers are going to blame for all their problems. We're going to see that with the populists. And lastly, it's out west because life was harsh and because women were expected to be equal partners in these homesteading territories, that women are going to get the first right to suffrage in national elections and state elections. And women are also going to get a chance to hold office for the first time out west. So equality comes through this desire to move west as well.